Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Bailey, also known as CringeMcCringle, and welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday and that means it's time for another video review. Today's review is probably going to be a quick one, but that's okay. I have a longer one planned for next week, and that's actually going to be somewhat of a Christmas special. Can't believe that we're already a week out from Christmas. What the heck? What happened in 2025? How in the hell did this happen so fast? I decided that today I would talk about a Transformers figure that is very near and dear to my heart, and that's because today we are going to be talking about Transformers Prime Ratchet. So, I actually had this figure when I was a kid. Transformers Prime came out when I was roughly 7, I think if I did the math right, and I started watching that show immediately the day that it came out, and I would subsequently watch all of the new episodes via the Hub Network, which is also actually how I would watch the G1 reruns at the time. So that's how I got my G1 fix. And when I saw the first episode of Transformers Prime, I fell in love with it almost immediately, and for whatever reason, I really liked Ratchet, which to me is odd because, well, he's just the grumpy, old, cranky robot who actually doesn't do much fighting. Unless he's on the synth end, keep him away from it. Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping before this becomes a 20-minute video, and we're gonna actually talk about this figure, so...
Starting off in robot mode, Ratchet is blending into my background, so let me fix the settings on my camera. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to see him. But first thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to this guy is probably the most important thing. My copy of Ratchet has the Reprolabels set of stickers applied to him to add a substantial amount of color that the figure was missing. Here's an old stock photo just to show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Needless to say, the Reprolabels stickers help this figure out a ton, and they help a lot more than the one time that I tried to paint my childhood copy that looked like shit, because, well, I was 9.
Starting off at the head, we can see the red highlights on his forehead and chin, or at least where they should be. My copy I bought had this paint scratched off in what I can only assume was due to heavy play. I definitely need to either get another figure or somehow paint this one. The actual sculpting, though, is wonderful and highly detailed, and it wouldn't be Ratchet if it weren't for him being a Debbie Downer and having an annoyed look on his face. He also features some light piping which works quite well. The chest is a faux piece, but that's mainly because this transformation is practically impossible, and the chest stores his head, which during transformation pops out. The Reprolabels add those red stripes to the doors and make it look way better. Further down we get more vehicle mode detailing with silver paint on the abs and red and silver stickers for the waist. Shoulders and arms are chunky slabs of ambulance, and the hands swivel up and down so you can have Ratchet either hold his swords or have them come out of his arms like the show. Ratchet has some tiny thighs featuring some lights that eventually widen out into these massive legs with nice wide feet which help him stand very easily. There's quite a bit of kibble on the back of his legs, but if I'm being honest, sometimes I forget it's there because it doesn't really get in the way.
Alright, so let's talk about articulation now for Ratchet. So, the head can look left and it can look right, it can somewhat look up and down, not very much though. The shoulders go backwards due to the transformation. Arms rotate 360 degrees and they go out. There is a bicep swivel right there, and then there is an elbow bend there, and there is an elbow bend right here as well. And then moving down, we've got a waist swivel, which is actually pretty good, especially for a figure from this era. And then legs go forward, legs go back a whole lot, and then they go out, and then they do kind of rotate a little bit because they're on the ball joint. And then we've got a knee bend there, and we've also got a knee bend there. So you can get 90 degrees. It is just something you got to work towards. Oh, fix that. And then finally, the foot can move up and down like this along with the heel support, but that's mostly due to transformation. Stay.
Ratchet is quite dynamic for a 2011 Deluxe. He's able to hit quite a few dynamic poses thanks to Hasbro incorporating a lot of his joints like the shoulders into the transformation. Speaking of which, transformation is very fun, and look at this new setup. I'm going to be doing my transformations like this because it's a little easier to mess with the figures and edit, and yeah, anyway, let's go back to Ratchet. He's great, mainly because it's simple and easy to figure out. Arms fold up into the backpack while the legs store the entire front of the ambulance. And here we have the ambulance mode. The first thing I want to point out is that the Reprolabels make this mode so much better. Like 70% of the details that you see were missing from Hasbro. Details such as the headlights, silver stripe down the side, yellow lights on the top, red heart monitor line, this silver detail, the red stripe up top as well as the lights. The entirety of the rear of the ambulance is stickers, and I wish I was joking. And then there's also a license plate. All of that detail was originally missing from the Hasbro release. I mean, this thing originally was just a white brick and nothing else. So these stickers help make this figure look way, way, way better in this mode. And that's a great thing because this vehicle mode is pretty good, just not originally from Hasbro. It can roll pretty well, and obviously I've gone over all the little small details, which are only exemplified by the stickers. But other than that, it's just a solid all-around good vehicle mode. I'm not too sure what I should talk about, but you can attach the arm blades to the front of the ambulance if that's a thing you like to do. So, yeah.
So overall, TF Prime Ratchet is a wonderful figure, especially for the time of 2011. He's a great poser despite some chunky and kibble-heavy parts. He's got some play features with the pop-out head and the arm blades. Robot and vehicle mode are not only accurate, but they are good-looking when you have the Reprolabel stickers on them. Otherwise, the lack of paint was and is still very well documented, but this was just a weird era for Transformers. But I think the most important thing to me about why this figure is so good is because I had him as a kid, and he was my only Ratchet. Other than the Fast Action Battler, Revenge of the Fallen, Beam Blast Ratchet, which I somehow still need to get, so that's going on the list. Anyways, I love this guy, and if you're thinking about getting any TF Prime figures, I would highly recommend that you start out with him as a litmus test. He's cheaper than most of the other figures, and he does a very good, solid representation of the character that we still haven't gotten yet. But just try him out, see how you feel, and if you like it, cool. If not, you can sell him, get your money back. I will see you all next Thursday, not Friday, but Thursday, because I want to make the video come out on Christmas. So I'll see you guys all then, and have a great, wonderful, happy holidays, and I'll see you guys next time.